haunting origins of Halloween. In the hushed whispers of autumn, as the days grow shorter and the chill of winter creeps closer, a night unlike any other beckons from the shadows, Halloween. This is a time when the veil between the living and the dead is said to grow thin, and the echoes of ancient rituals stir in the crisp air. But what lies behind the masks and the merriment? What stories do the lanterns conceal? Join me as we unravel the haunting origins of Halloween, a celebration woven from the threads of history, belief, and the eternal dance between light and darkness. As October 31st approaches, the world transforms. Pumpkins are carved into grinning faces, and children don costumes ranging from whimsical to frightful. But beneath the surface of this modern celebration lies a rich tapestry of history that dates back thousands of years. The roots of Halloween trace back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, a time when the harvest was celebrated and the dark nights of winter were ushered in. The Celts believed that on this night, the barrier between the living and the spirit world was at its weakest. As twilight descended, they gathered around bonfires, the flickering flames warding off evil spirits and offering a connection to their ancestors. It was a night of remembrance and reverence, where the living honored the dead. Families would set an extra place at the table, leaving food for spirits that might wander in. Yet, as the centuries passed, the traditions of Samhain began to intertwine with emerging Christian beliefs. The Catholic Church established All Hallows' Eve, an attempt to sanctify the night and replace pagan customs with holy ones. This melding of traditions transformed Samhain into a night that acknowledged both the supernatural and the sacred. But what does the Bible say about such practices? Although Halloween is not mentioned explicitly, Scripture warns against engaging with the occult and witchcraft. In Deuteronomy 18:10-12, which states, "Let no one be found among you who sacrifices their son or daughter in the fire, who practices divination or interprets omens, engages in witchcraft or casts spells, or who is a medium or spiritist, or who consults the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord." This passage underscores the gravity with which God views practices associated with the occult, prompting believers to reject any involvement in such activities. A biblical example of this discernment can be found in the story of King Saul, who sought guidance from a medium at Endor after turning away from God. 1 Samuel 28. Here we were made to understand that the angels of darkness can manifest themselves, posing as spirits of the dead and speaking to us. 2 Corinthians 11:14. King Saul's desperate act not only led to his downfall, but also illustrated the dangers of engaging with the supernatural rather than relying on divine guidance. 1 Chronicles 10:13-14. This serves as a stark reminder for Christians to remain vigilant against influences that conflict with their faith, especially during seasons like Halloween that may invite such practices. For many Christians, this poses a dilemma. Thus choose to abstain from Halloween due to its associations with the occult, fear, and death, emphasizing the importance of discernment in their faith. 1 Thessalonians 5:21-22 states, "Test all things, hold fast what is good, abstain from every form of evil." This scripture serves as a guiding principle, encouraging believers to critically evaluate the cultural practices they engage in. For example, the early Christians often distanced themselves from pagan festivals that celebrated spirits and the supernatural, aligning their practices with the teachings of Christ. One biblical figure that exemplifies this discernment is Daniel, who refused to partake in the Babylonian king's lavish feasts and practices that contradicted his faith. Daniel 1:8. Daniel's commitment to abstaining from those influences reflects the broader call for Christians today to carefully navigate cultural celebrations, ensuring their actions align with their beliefs and values. So how can we navigate cultural celebrations while remaining steadfast in our faith? How do we honor for heritage while shining as lights in the darkness? As Christians, it's essential to seek guidance and comfort from God, rather than turning to practices that go against our faith, such as consulting the dead. Psalm 145:18 reminds us, "The Lord is near to all who call on Him in truth." Spending time in prayer, reading scripture, and engaging in worship allows us to connect with God's presence and wisdom. By focusing on our relationship with Him, we can find peace and strength to navigate the challenges of life without resorting to practices that detract from our faith. Thank you for watching Awaken Pursuit. Wishing you a splendid time in the Lord as you deepen your relationship with Him.